Good morning, Top Hats. I need to get this going quickly. Okay, hasn't started yet. I know, TGIF. I'm very, very excited. Good morning. Good morning, Becca. Good morning, Fig. Whew. Is this too crazy or what? I mean, these people lollygag the hell around, and then when they do it, they do it. They get right on it. So, and yes, the Lori and Chad Daybell, their cases have been severed. He has been trying to do that for a year, and he wasn't able to. So that's good, I guess, huh? I don't even know what my hair looks like. Some kind of a mess. So I don't know what that means for the trial at this point. Obviously, we're going to have to find out something soon. I think it's actually fair for that to happen. I mean, I wouldn't want to be part of what she's got going on, but I would never have wanted to be part of it. And he most certainly did want to be part of it for a good while. For a little while, for sure. Good morning, Beck. Yep. Yep, they are doing sentencing right now. That's what we were just talking about, how they lollygagged around the whole trial. And then once I went to the jury, it's been bam, bam, bam. What did we figure yesterday? The jury had this for like 2 hours. Am I wrong about that? I don't know. I do know I barely got offline. I went back online, stayed on until I went straight to bed. So it's a good thing that we got justice here, because I've been strapped at home for 6 weeks. And today I'm taking my grandbabies to a jumpy jump. So excited. I asked if my girl could have a ditch day, and her mom said yes. Last night they told people to stay at the courthouse. There was 2-minute warning before they announced the verdict. Wow. So nobody had left yet at all, huh? I would think people would get the F out of there. If it were me, I would. But I know. Well, because they normally schedule we'll know about a sentencing hearing for a long time. They almost did it last night, Beck. Is that the impression you got, Fig? I mean, the judge almost acted like he might just do it right now. He seems almost giddy. Me too. I love him. I love him. He seemed so happy. Of course, old Murdaugh did not. It's about time, you pile of poop. Ooh. I watch so many food videos that stuff pops up. Puffy tacos, San Antonio style. I need to try that. It looks amazing. Okay, I'm just checking with Court TV too to make sure. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, what a birthday present. Yay, yay. By the way, I didn't check yet. Did you get your when I got offline, went to bed and got up, took a shower and came right back online. Right, I did. I know I did, Top Hats. I did say that. I know. I hate to say I told you so. Just kidding. I don't hate it. Right. I think you meant live announcement, but I'll take love announcement also. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that sounds good. Oh, okay, good. Good, good, good. We need to plan a day to get. Okay, maybe it's on the porch. It says it was all delivered, but uh, yeah, mine does too. Lately, it's been trying to say lice, and I'm like, why? For me, having this great big screen, so of course, when my phone is, like this, it's a huge screen, right? But when it's not, when it's like this, it's actually smaller. And I am constantly, when I'm fat fingering shit, especially with my man hands, it's not sexy at all. Not one bit. Oh, okay. Yes, I was so right, and I'm so happy about it. But I was not prepared. Holy crap. Me and Jack had been rolling around. My hair was a mess. And then got stuck on all these food videos. And I started watching them for dinner. And then next thing you know, I don't even make dinner. Poor Mr. Snotty had to. As soon as they sent it to the jury yesterday, I started making plans for today since I can leave the house. And then all this happened. That's good. Have it all wrapped up and tied up with a pretty little bow for the weekend. Bang, boom, smash. Boom, boom. Becca said last night, the town should be acting like they won the Super Bowl and have parades and have all this celebration go on. And then they did a press conference and they said it's like a Super Bowl. I'm like, I'm just calling this shit left and right. It had to be impossible it had to. That's exactly right. See, that's why I'm like, if you just use common sense. And it was so clear how desperate the defense was. Good night. The lawyer, was not, he's like, this, I would not have done this. I would not have been able to. Good thing you weren't on that jury. Okay, but they're going to be late today. Sure, straight as hell. I'm going to go ahead and unmute this now.
2021, Alec Murdaugh called 911, and Officer Deputy Green, and then
right. And to keep saying that you are, so cooperative. Really? No, that's not what that's called. See, that's the sick part of these people. They actually believe that probably. He was so cooperative. You can have my phone. You can be all over my property, blah, blah, blah. But you lied, okay? That's not called cooperation. It's just not. Oh. Are we here, dear?
Good morning. Party's ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
Bench is ready, Your Honor.
All right, from the state, Mr. Waters.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're obviously here in the sentencing for the state versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh. Your Honor, I have prepared the sentencing sheets signed up. If I can hand those up to the clerk.
Good morning, legs. Yay.
Your Honor, very quickly, the defendant has no prior record, and the state has no victim impact people who want to speak at this time. But I will address the court briefly. And I don't need, Your Honor, to repeat the evidence that Your Honor just heard for the past 6 weeks, but it is overwhelming. And it shows this man to be a cunning manipulator, a man who placed himself above all others, including his family. A man who violated the trust of so many, including his friends, his family, his partners, his profession, but most of all, Maggie and Paul. This is a very complicated situation, and I want to offer my condolences to the family that has suffered here. We have tried very hard to be respectful and sensitive regardless of what position any person took, because this family has suffered and they've had to suffer in the public eye. And I want to offer my condolences to this family. I want to offer it for Maggie and Paul and Mr. Randolph too, who I had the pleasure of working with on one occasion. But the reality remains is that despite all this attention, this case is about Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh, and I'm
Morning,
so
Jim.
thankful
You're in just in
that the
time.
jurors gave them a voice. You heard about Paul. Obviously, there was the boat case, but you also heard him described as a fun-loving young man, a person who loved life, a person who would do anything for his friends, for anyone. And he's cut down as he was just starting to live his life. You heard about Maggie. You heard how sweet she was. You heard that she was a girl's girl who adapted to the outdoorsman life of her sons, how much she loved her sister and her brother-in-law and their children. And she was cut down in the prime of her life. Both of them, like everyone else, was unaware of who he really was. No one who thought they knew this man, no one who thought they were close to this man knew who he really was. And Your Honor, that's chilling. And I've looked in his eyes, and he liked to stare me down as he would walk by me during this trial. And I could see the real Alex Murdaugh when he looked at me. The depravity, the callousness, the selfishness of these crimes are stunning. The lack of remorse and the effortless way in which he lies, including here sitting right over there in this witness stand. Your Honor, a man like that, a man like this man, should never be allowed to be among free law-abiding citizens again. And I would submit to you that the only just sentence here to give justice for Maggie and Paul is the maximum, and that would be 2 consecutive life sentences. Thank you, Your Honor.
You indicate that no victim would like to speak at this time. Would any victim like to speak at any time during these proceedings?
Your Honor, one of the things we did early on, obviously, as I just said, it's a very complicated situation, but we made the decision early on. We've had our victim advocate here who's been doing a wonderful job, regardless of the viewpoints of any individual family member, to provide aid and service to them. And we made that decision. I'm informed by our victim advocate that none of them wish to speak. The defense can certainly address that, but that's what I'm informed. But they certainly were offered the opportunity as is required. And I want to commend our victim advocate on the excellent job she did in handling this complex situation that we wanted to be sensitive to, because again, none of us are not mindful of the fact of the suffering of this family.
I noticed Flag Chief Mark Keel is here. Would you like to address the court on any matters, Chief?
Yes, sir. Just to say, again, very proud of our agents, the work they're doing. I'm proud of the partnership that we've had with the Attorney General's office as we've had for many years. And again, we're here to see the justice is served, and we believe it has been.
Thank you. For the defense.
Your Honor, Mr. Griffin and I would have no comment. The defendant would like to address the court, though.
Mr. Murdaugh.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Paw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Anything further?
I don't think further comment is necessary, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Murdaugh, if you'll
How come I knew I
come
was going to hear Paw?
to the court for sentencing. This has been perhaps one of the most troubling cases, not just for me as a judge, for the state, for the defense team, but for all of the citizens in this community, all the citizens in this state, and as we've seen based on the media coverage throughout the nation. You have a wife who's been killed, murdered, a son savagely murdered, a lawyer, a person from a respected family who has controlled justice in this community for over a century, a person whose grandfather's portrait hang at the back of the courthouse that I had to have ordered removed in order to ensure that a fair trial was had by both the state and the defense. And I've sat through the trial. Not only have I sat through the trial, but also as the presiding judge of the state grand jury, sat through and participated in the issuance of search warrants of various sorts, bond hearings, and have had to consider many things. And we have this case, and I'm also assigned to preside over 99 others, at least 99 other cases. Though testimony has come up regarding many of those other cases, I will not make any comment with regard to any other pending matter, as I have been assigned those cases as well. It's also particularly troubling, Mr. Murdaugh, because as a member of the legal community and a well-known member of the legal community, you've practiced law before me, and we've seen each other at various occasions throughout the years. And it was especially heartbreaking for me to see you go in the media from being a grieving father who lost a wife and a son to being the person indicted and convicted of killing them. And you've engaged in such duplicitous conduct here in the courtroom, here on the witness stand, and as established by the testimony throughout the time leading from the time of the indictment and prior to the indictment throughout the trial to this moment in time. Certainly, you have no obligation to say anything other than saying not guilty. And obviously, as appeals are probably expected or absolutely expected, I would not expect a confession of any kind. In fact, as I've presided over murder cases over the past 22 years, I have yet to find a defendant who could go there, who could go back to that moment in time when they decided to pull the trigger or to otherwise murder someone. I have not been able to get anyone, any defendant, even those who have confessed to being guilty, to go back and explain to me what happened at that moment in time when they opted to pull the trigger, when they opted to commit the most heinous crimes known to man. In this case, qualifies under our death penalty statute. based on the statutory aggravating circumstances of 2 or more people being murdered by the defendant by one act or pursuant to one scheme or course of conduct. I don't question at all the decision of the state not to pursue the death penalty. But as I sit here in this courtroom and look around the many portraits of judges and other court officials and reflect on the fact that over the past century, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people here in this courtroom, and many have received the death penalty, probably for lesser conduct. Remind me of the expression you gave on the witness stand. Was it tangled?
Tangled web, we weave.
Oh, what tangled web we weave. What did you mean by that?
Meant when I lied, I continue to lie.
And the question is, when will it end? When will it end? And it's ended already for the jury because they've concluded that you continued to lie and lied throughout your testimony. And perhaps with all the throng of people here, they, for the most part, all believe, or 80, 90%, 99% believe that you continue to lie now when your statement of denial to the court. Perhaps you believe that it does not matter, that there's nothing that can mitigate a sentence given the crimes that were committed. You know, a notice of alibi was filed in this case by counsel in November, and we conducted a hearing, pretrial hearing, in which you claimed to have been someplace else at the time the crime was committed. Then, after all of the witnesses placed you at the scene of the crime, at the last minute, or last minutes or days, you switch courses and admitted to being there. And then that necessitated more lies and continued to lie. And I said, where will it end? It's already ended for many who have heard you and concluded that it'll never end. But within your own soul, you have to deal with that. And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
Yeah, I'm sure. And they will continue to do so. And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes, as you looked the jury in the eyes. I don't know person who's always been such a gregarious, friendly person and cause your life to be tangled in such a weave web, such a situation that yours have spun into. And it's so unfortunate because you had such a lovely family of such friendly people, including you, and to go from that to this. Your license to practice law has been stripped away from you. You turned from lawyer to witness, and now have an opportunity to make your final appeal as an ex-lawyer. And it's really surprising that you're waiving this right at this time. And if you opt to do so, it's on you. You're not compelled to say anything, but you have the opportunity to do so.
This is
And I
wild.
tell you again, I respect this court, but I'm innocent. I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my son, Paw.
Well, and it might not have been you. It might have been the monster you become when you take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills. Maybe you become another person. I've seen that before. The person standing before me was not the person who committed the crime, though it's the same individual. We'll leave that at that. Before announcing sentence on these cases, with regard to all of the other pending cases, are any of them here in Colleton, or I'm sure some of them are?
Yes, sir.
Half of them, or?
I don't have that in front of me, but there are a substantial number of charges here. There's some in Hampton, Orangeburg, Beaufort, Allendale. There may be others I'm not thinking of right now.
We might have worn out our welcome here in Colleton. They have been, and I'll take this opportunity to thank Sheriff Hill and all of the court officials and really everyone I've met and dealt with while here in Colleton County. Just been great. But without any delay, we're going to schedule some of the other matters. I know Mr. Harpootlian's scheduling is complicated, and you've sacrificed quite a bit to be able to be here defending Mr. Murdaugh, as well as the Attorney General's office, with all the other many things and obligations you have. And to be able to have the Attorney General here, Alan Wilson, for the period of time that he's devoted to being here, along with everyone else, it's been quite a sacrifice. But there are other victims whose cases deserve to be heard. And this case has jumped some of those other cases. Perhaps jumped it because of this case resulting in an assault on the integrity of the judicial system in our state, law enforcement in our state. Even during this trial, the law enforcement have been maligned for the past 5 or 6 weeks by one who had access to the wheels of justice, to be able to deflect the investigation. And as the evidence is pointed out in this case, the looming storm that Mr. Waters talked about, I can just imagine on that day, June 7th, when a lawyer is confronted and confesses to having stolen over $500,000 from a client, and he has a tiger like Mark Tinsley on his tail pursuing discovery in the case involving the death of Mallory Beach, and having a father, for the most part, on his deathbed. I could imagine, I really can't imagine, but I know it had to have been quite a bit going through your mind on that day. But amazingly, to have you come and testify that it was just another ordinary day, that my wife and son and I were out just enjoying life. Not credible, not believable. You can convince yourself about it, but obviously you have the inability to convince anyone else about that. So if you made any such arguments as a lawyer, you would lose every case of that, like that. Cases you will never have an opportunity to argue anymore, except perhaps your own as you sit in the Department of Corrections. Anything further?
No, sir.
All right, Mr. Murdaugh, I sentence you to the State Department of Corrections on each of the murder indictments in the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh. I sentence you for the term of the rest of your natural life for the murder of Paul Murdaugh, whom you probably love so much. I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life. Those sentences will run consecutive. Under the statute involving possession of a weapon during a violent crime, there is no sentence where a life sentence is imposed on other indictments. That is the sentence of the court, and you are remanded to the State Department of Corrections. And officers may carry forth on the imposition. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. Who's that? Oh, photographer. Yeah. That's wild. I can't believe some of the stuff the judge said. Right. That says a whole lot. That your family won't even get up and say, a lot of times you see the surviving children say, I've already lost my mom, I've already lost, But I think that's whenever there's the death penalty and when they're trying to, I don't know. It's really wild, though, that I know his brother is smiling. Yeah.
Before we adjourn, an order was issued concerning maintaining the juror's identity being anonymous. That order was issued, and for the most part, it's been complied with, except for the jury leaving the courtroom yesterday. or not the jury, but the defendant leaving the courtroom while the jury is still seated. Protecting the identity of the jurors is certainly extremely important during the course of a trial to ensure that no one makes contact with the jury or attempts to influence the jury. Jurors have a right to continue that privacy beyond their jury service, but they're not obligated to do so. And it would not surprise me if jurors choose to come forward and to speak, and they're encouraged to do so if that is their desire. I have no problem whatsoever with the jurors unmasking themselves and speaking freely with the media, because they have undergone a life-changing experience as it relates to many of them. And some of them are here now, and I want them to know that should anyone attempt to harass them or annoy them, please let me know and I will address the issue. Secondly, there's a complaint now regarding the posting of autopsy photographs or photos that came from within the courtroom. It's based on the direction of the photographs. It did not come from the audience. It came somehow from within the well of the court. The parties have requested an investigation of that. I have my hands full doing my job, and I don't attempt to conduct any investigations beyond the conducting of a trial, but to the extent that law enforcement decides to review that, will be the responsibility of law enforcement. Yes. And of course, one of the reasons we've sought to seal graphic photos is because the parties have a right to privacy and a right to those matters not being publicly disclosed. If anyone has heard about the recent settlement that Kobe Bryant's, another sports analogy, Kobe Bryant's wife just made with Los Angeles County and others out there over certain disclosures of information involving the death of Kobe Bryant. Liability can be substantial, and it's a risk for the most part that's not worth taking. So we'll let everyone judge themselves accordingly with that regard. Aside from all that, our business is done here in Colleton County, and I get to use my gavel one or few times during this trial and order that court be adjourned. Sine die.
All rise.
Wow, I love him. Let me see. I didn't see a lot of chat, guys. I'm sorry. I had it on full screen. Trying to check out some reaction from somebody, which there was little. I know. Yeah, where are I didn't see any. I don't want to see autopsy photos. I can remember seeing some from my dad's cases, and it's horrible. Right. Right, Jen's mom. No, he was not having this BS. He wasn't going to stop with the pawpaw, was he? It's a done deal. Stop. Yeah, that's the thing. I think, Ira, that I think they were afraid that people might not go for it if they put the death penalty. They might not end up with an actual conviction. And I think that's possibly true also. Let me see. I'm just trying to jump through some of this real quick. The judge alluded to the fact that others have gotten death penalty for less. Yeah. He did. He did. And the judge wanted him to get that. Like I said, last night, he was ready. It appeared to me he was ready to do sentencing last night. Right. Right. You took the advantages that you were given at birth that majority of people will never have any idea what that's like, and absolutely just shit on it. Yes, very nice to have you, Jen's mom. Thank you for coming in. Oh, Ira, thank you for the super sticker. Wow, I didn't see that. Appreciate it. Oh, and you became a member. I thought you were a member. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, I missed a lot, didn't I? Yeah, well, it's just really wild how this all came to such a quick end and how nice that is. And I do think the judge enjoyed being able to say those things to him. And I love the way the judge pretty much was saying, are you still really want to do this? Like, you can, show remorse. What happened? You're so mad that Mary did what? I did. Thank you. I did. This morning, I'm telling you, I got offline last night, went to bed. I really wanted to take a shower. I was so tired. I went straight to bed, got up, got in the shower, and got back online. I feel like I haven't left this computer at all for... Hello, Frazzled. That was pretty poignant how Judge pointed out that he may have loved his son and didn't say anything about him loving his wife. Right, because this is the thing. The judge literally said things the way that everybody else thinks. And, basically you can just keep on. But, I think that's crazy too, how he said things about, did you have, how many people sit here and still won't say what was going through their head at that time, and so, really trying to force him to talk about it, to say what happened. I know. I haven't left it for a month. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm so glad too, because I am starving. I haven't eaten for a while. And Mr. Snotty just ran an errand, but he texted me and said he's going to bring back breakfast. I'm like, yes, I'm hungry. She took off her CAT scan and didn't. Oh, she did. Yes, thank you very much for that. And I will respond. But thank you very much for that. And May's yours also. Thank you guys very much. I wanted to give him the opportunity. Yeah. Right. I don't even know what the weather's going to be like here today. I'm nervous about going to go jump with the kids because I effed my toe up so bad. But I'm going to wrap it, I think, because I have to jump with the kids. Yeah, from now on, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to do like recaps or something, but just sitting all day, especially there's so many times when it's just like, there's nothing happening. Good morning, Quinny. Isn't it a happy day? Such a good day. Kimmy got good results back, and it was Beck's birthday. It was Wandering Spirit's birthday. We got a guilty conviction like ASAP. Crazy. Okay, whatever. What the hell? No, I just want to see. Oh, wow. At our property up north right now, it's 9 degrees. Her. It says it feels like 0. It's 45 here right now. And looks like it's going to get as high as 60 degrees is what it says. Pretty nice. So happy yet sad in another, I think, of Maggie and Paul looking at the man they trusted. Right. No, that's exactly right. Oh, it's your son. Oh, happy birthday to your son. See? Oh, we're getting ready to have some crazy barking going on. Okay, stop. It's your dad. Stop it. Your birthday is, it's 15. Wow, oh, there's my food. Yummy. Oh, that's sweet. Oh. That's really good, Legs, that they're going to take her out for a petty and stuff. That's nice. And she's going to get good news too. No matter what news happens, it's going to be okay. That's what you just have to say. It is. Right. I think the same way that they weren't nice people, and I think they both took a life. The fact is, it's so I feel so sorry for them because, I think one of the things that probably did get to a lot of people whenever they said that Maggie was running to her baby. I mean, think about that. God. I do too. And he seems to have no emotion. I'm sure that he's just not showing it. But, even when he talks to his dad in the jail conversations and stuff, he has like no emotion about it. And I mean, really, do these people just have zero feelings about anything? For himself, that's one thing that they said about him that is very true. He'll just bawl and squall when it's about himself. I think he knows in his heart too, of course. Yeah, that can't be easy to accept. It just can't be. How are you feeling, Squishy? Right. But I don't think he'll get it. I think what will happen, they'll just do, I don't know what they'll do. It's weird. Because even his brother, did his brother did cry when they were going over that? I didn't notice that. Frazzle, you have been on top of the gallery watching. Right. When you think about Stephen Smith, what's going to happen? I'm out of it, couldn't sleep with pain, so Doc. Dose up. I'm half here. Well, if you're not in pain, then that's good. Yep, I think so too. I think you're right, Legs. That's right. And it's very sweet of you to spend your half with us. Yeah, you're right, Frazzled, and you've been all over it. That is so awesome. It's just whenever I say, so-and-so's not there today, you're like, oh yeah, he's there. Well, because you know what, I didn't realize that hadn't heard that they had been reprimanded by the judge and were moved back. So I think initially when I saw that Paul and John Marvin weren't right up front, I thought, wow, I guess they're not there. And I don't know how you miss Ronald McDonald, but I was missing him there a little bit. I'm officially off the fentanyl patch. Thank God. I hated this. Oh, good. That's awesome. Congrats. And Kimmy, you fell. I'm sorry about that. Gosh. Oh. Well, that's good, Legs. That's good because I'm glad to hear you're going to wait. I wondered about that. Yeah, it's funny. Expressions do give you a good indication about what kind of things are happening. What's going on behind the eyes. Oh my God. Seriously? Why? Because of weather or what? Top hats? What the hell? Oh gosh. Squishy, that's terrible. Tomorrow's your birthday? And your son's? That's tough. Oh my gosh. Wow, Squishy, that's terrible. Definitely will be praying for you, legs. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, cold front clashing with warm front. High winds, and we've had also. Wow. Right. Yeah, I hope the weather does get better. No, I don't think I always say it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. Well, you get past it to some degree because you have to. You have other things you just have to do. But no, it doesn't. No, it's not true. You have to find peace. You have to find peace with it. That's something you pretty much have to do. That's the best thing. That's the only thing you can hope for, really, because it's not. Wow. That's a lot. That's right. It was your 19th. I do remember that. I do remember that. Wow. Oh, that's how you said that. I remember that. Started giving you her list. Yeah, I bet she has. Yeah, that's going to be a tough day. Yeah, she's a cutie. Well, guys, I think I'm going to get off here. No, you're right. That's right. Very true. Yeah, I figured it was a store. Yes, I will. I'm going to get off here, and my babies will be here any minute, and we're going to have a great day. I'm so excited to spend it with the babies. Yes, you have a great day too, everybody. And we'll be on for Friday Night Fun for whoever's interested in that. Yep, Daybell, here we come. That's right. I will. You guys too. And we'll be waiting to hear about Mary. Praying for all of you. Oh, thank you. Very, very excited. Okay, I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you. And we got justice. Woohoo. So excited.